This video covers getting off the Moore Park Road cycleway and riding along Fitzroy Street to get to the Bourke St cycleway. It had its own special challenges, mainly brought about by a gap in the pop-up cycleway, which I've marked here on the map in red. Everything was going fine until we had to get back onto the shared path and then hit the intersection of Driver Avenue. At this point, we didn't know whether to stay on the path on the other side of the intersection or get back on the road. In the end, we decided to get back onto the road, even though this meant merging with cars coming up behind us. That wasn't good. Maybe some green paint on the road would provide a better visual indicator of where to go from here. When we got to the lights at Greens Road, we saw cyclists coming from all directions. Two of them had stayed on the path and jumped back onto the road at this intersection. Maybe they'd done this before and knew what they were doing. Now for the next section, listen to what we had to say at the time.
So where to now? Righto. Where are we going? What the hell is that?
Yeah, I know.
It's straight on.
I don't know why they've done that. I mean,
Well, someone moved it.
No.
Sure?
Yep.
or is it just not open?
It's a ship design.
Well, it's not open.
I can't believe it's the final design.
Well, why paint this here if you have to do
Yeah.
that mad bloody thing to get around it?
Yeah, merge into the left lane with no notice.
That was a bit
Okay.
bonkers.
Yeah. There we go.
I wonder if we can kick this thing over, or is it nailed down?
Once we got onto Fitzroy Street, the pop-up cycleway was fine. I did notice the traffic coming out of Marshall Street on the left had to stop, giving the cycleway priority. When we reached Bourke Street, we had to get back onto the footpath, and this created an issue with bike storage. There were two other cyclists ahead of us, and when you added in the three of us and a pedestrian with a dog, it just got a little bit crowded. This would certainly be an issue for bigger groups or during busy periods. To sum up, the Moore Park pop-up ends and leaves a gap that is tricky to cross. Better road markings, such as a green painted path across the road, would provide much better visual indicators as to where you're supposed to go after Driver Avenue. The treatment at the intersection of South Dowling St was also very confusing. We had cyclists going left and right of it, not knowing what to do. Now this might have been because the plastic curbs had been moved and it wasn't in its proper configuration. The plastic curbing at the entry to the Fitzroy St cycleway also looked like it had been moved out of position, narrowing the entry. The crowding on the path when we got to Bourke St was also a problem, but a more minor one. Now I'm giving the Fitzroy St pop-up good marks, but the gap between Driver Avenue and South Dowling St certainly needs some more work.